Our controversial player has had his postseason interviews released. Let's listen to the full excerpts and evaluate whether his performance was positive or negative. Leave your opinions in the comments and share your thoughts. Pay close attention to what he says and see if your perceptions change. How would you rate his season? And what is his view on potential trades? We'll explore how the future may unfold in the coming years with this contract. Are you ready for this? We'll discuss information about trade speculations, possible draft picks, the free agency period, the summer league, and additional interviews, all related to this. The season was interesting in terms of games played. He participated in 68 games, the highest total since the previous season, and before that, he struggled with ongoing injuries. Upon observing his shooting percentage, we noticed a decline, which is curious since he missed some key layups, and his three-point shooting percentage also dropped, standing at 32%. This is intriguing, as it seemed like he was shooting more efficiently, but he may have taken more attempts and missed more than expected. We could see that he was taking at least 1 to 3 shots per game, something he hadn't done since 2018, and his percentage stood at 30%, with 38% in the 2015 to 2016 season, which was his best career performance. With this, the season could be considered reasonably good. It's clear how defenses position themselves far from him. He remained open for corner and top-of-the-key shots and made some key baskets in decisive moments. In some games, he had performances like 2 out of 6, 3 out of 5. There were also games where he scored no points, but overall, it seems that he had a performance superior to what the numbers indicate, although it's likely that he attempted a lot of shots. Looking at the data, he made a considerable number of attempts and converted 80 of them. His free throw shooting percentage wasn't exceptional, averaging 68%, slightly below his usual standard. As for rebounds, his count was low, especially considering he had been averaging around 7 for a significant period. This total doesn't represent his career peak, but still noteworthy. He's always excelled in assists, with an average of 5.6, plus 1.5 in steals and 9 points per game, mostly coming from three-pointers. This represents one of his highest totals since the 2017 to 2018 season. Given this, how would you rate his performance this season? Was it a success or a failure in statistical terms? It's slightly below the usual, but I would say it was a success because he didn't miss many games. Although he received some technical fouls and flagrant fouls, it's part of his playing style, and it didn't hurt the team as much as it had in previous years when he might have lost consecutive games. He was available and played as a leader for the team. He missed a few games due to injuries, but that's common in the league. However, there were no long suspensions. This brings us to what he mentions in his exit interviews. What are his impressions about the season in general? He believes that if some teammates had remained healthy, they could have achieved more significant results. Some games were lost due to injuries, which is common in the NBA and generally accepted. However, there were no long-term suspensions. This leads us to reflect on the discussions from previous interviews. What's the view on the season as a whole? It's believed that if a particular player had stayed healthy, a title could have been won. A championship was won when another player got injured in the finals, and a third key player also faced an injury at that time. Would the victory still have been possible without these injuries? It's believed that yes, but this is a question that will remain unanswered. This is simply the essence of sports. Injuries are part of the game and are unfortunate. Therefore, you can't just look at the positives and claim that winning a championship nullifies the impact of injuries. On the other hand, it's not reasonable to say that victory would have been guaranteed without the injury. Having gone through similar situations, it's essential to respect the circumstances when things don't go as expected. One aspect that's disappointing in high competition is the idea that championships were won solely by skill, although skill did indeed play a part. Injuries affected many teams, and this is inherent to the level of competition. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on their side this time, resulting in a key player being sidelined. However, this is nothing new. Injuries have been part of previous seasons as well. Every year in the league, some teams face this reality. It can happen to any team, and when luck is unfavorable, it's unwise to claim that victory was just a matter of circumstance. In an ideal scenario, things might have been different, but reality is never perfect, and accepting both achievements and setbacks is crucial. The playoffs elimination came at the hands of another team, regardless of the players available on the court. That team advanced, and it's unfortunate that a crucial athlete couldn't contribute, as a huge effort is invested to reach such moments. Although there is empathy for the situation, it's important to acknowledge the opposing team's victory and the need for improvement during the offseason to achieve success next year. There are many reflections to be made from the comments made. Overall, the shared perspective is appreciated. The success in the playoffs was remarkable, and the impact of injuries along the way to the finals is significant. It's recognized that there were favorable moments in the playoffs, with one notable player dealing with injuries during this period. Although injuries affected several teams, maintaining relative health during the playoffs is essential, and the absence of serious injuries is seen as a crucial factor in the pursuit of championships. However, one cannot simply claim what could have been. The dedication throughout the season to make it to the playoffs, when it truly matters, brings its own challenges, and the pain of that competition is real. There is a consensus about the feelings expressed regarding the future position of the players. It's noticed that there are preferences regarding the positions played. The need for a center in the upcoming season is acknowledged, and the future remains uncertain. There has been significant development of players over the past years, which is commendable. What will happen in that position is uncertain, as it's not just the responsibility of one individual. Continuous improvement is vital, as stagnation can lead to delay in such a competitive league. The uncertainty about future developments remains, but there is confidence in the ability to adapt to different roles if necessary. The importance of growth and readiness for any situation is emphasized. Improving or regressing is a constant challenge, as everyone is equally committed to evolving. Often, I find myself reflecting on these aspects. I recognize my commitment to playing the 5 position, and this year brought considerable concerns about my performance in that role. However, I believe I managed those issues satisfactorily. Since a new player joined us, I have primarily played as a 5 until a few days ago, and I can confidently say that my physical condition has remained exceptional. I feel very good, and I am finishing this season in full health, playing about 35 to 37 minutes per game over 3 consecutive months while fighting for a playoff spot. I'm fully confident that I am fit for this role and can handle the demands. However, it's clear that we need to progress, and to do so, a comprehensive analysis of all factors is necessary. I will always be available to the organization, and if they decide to go in this direction, I will be ready to contribute. Whether playing as a 5 or in another position doesn't worry me. When observing the league, I see many talented players like a renowned athlete and others who are physically in good shape. However, I don't shy away from challenges. If the organization opts for a specific path, I will be prepared to help, whether using one of the 5 available or seeking new options, always in the best interest of the team. I have the ability to look beyond my own needs for the sake of the organization. One characteristic I admire in a player is their integrity and clarity. As we know, he competes fiercely against sinners and mentioned a series against a rival, acknowledging the difficulties. However, this style of play cannot be maintained in the long term. At around 6 feet 6 or 7 inches, he achieved this throughout his career, but he's now in his early 30s. With the evolution of the game, athletes are getting younger, taller, faster, and stronger. He stood out in the series against the team, managing to hold his position and preventing them from positioning themselves well to make plays. His effort deserves recognition and appreciation. Players are becoming younger, taller, faster, stronger, and more. He stood out exceptionally in the series, maintaining his position and preventing them from executing plays near the basket. He deserves credit for that. However, it's clear that the team needs a center. The rebound data indicates that we need an appropriate player, someone sturdy who can dominate the area. An athlete who served the team well for a decade is no longer the same. An effective center is crucial for the team's success. This brings us to the discussion about 2 key athletes. With the recent trade, the most significant change needed was the acquisition of a high-level player. And we managed to make this adjustment. I believe this was the most challenging part of the process. Acquiring players of this quality through trades or in the market is rare, so that phase is now behind us, placing us in a much more advantageous position as we approach this restructuring period compared to last year when we were still searching for the missing piece. That said, we need to continue evolving as we acknowledge that we were eliminated in the second round, regardless of the circumstances. The reality is that we were defeated in the second round, so refining our performance is critical. There has always been a difference between players who stand out over 82 games and those who shine in the playoffs. For us, it's crucial to evaluate both situations, as ideally, we shouldn't be fighting for every win starting from the 8th day of February. This approach becomes exhausting over time. For our team, we were essentially in playoff mode for the last 3 months, which is not the most efficient strategy to win a championship. This understanding is shared across the organization, and we need to find a way to position ourselves better for an exceptional season, rather than just a satisfactory conclusion. It's crucial that the year reflects this, so that the conclusion aligns with our aspirations. I understand the point being raised. Putting ourselves under enormous pressure is not the ideal way to go. It sounds incredible. It really does. I hope this doesn't sound like there was no intention to finish strong. Clearly, there is a desire to close the season on a high note, but the overall performance must reflect that in order to achieve the desired conclusion. I understand the point being raised. It's essential not to put yourself under enormous pressure at the end of the season. The goal is to perform well throughout the entire season. I see the perspective, and it makes sense. Spending 3 months in the playoffs certainly had its effect in the last few weeks. This will undoubtedly be the main focus going forward. There's a strong sense of optimism, and there's still room for a few more attempts to win the championship. However, improvement is essential. The depth of the responses given is truly appreciated. The explanations are complete and detailed, which may extend the length of the video, but listening to full answers is valuable as it delves into the finer details. It's accurate to say that in the previous season, there were 26 wins and 25 losses, starting with 12 wins and 3 losses, followed by a sharp decline during the late fall and winter months. A recovery in rhythm was achieved, but this type of trajectory takes a mental and physical toll. Playing consistently in playoff games starting in February means players don't get rest. More experienced players are forced to participate in significant games and play substantial minutes as the season winds down, when they could benefit from a few days of rest. Instead of a 20-minute game, they find themselves in 40-minute games when victories seem essential. The pressure of being in the playoffs and then moving to the play-in situation creates a mental burden. I don't want to elaborate too much, as this segment is stretching, but regarding the future of a particular player, it is indeed promising, whether here or elsewhere. Talented players typically find a way to succeed, and there is a belief that this player will as well. There have been many discussions about the determination to face the ups and downs of the season. There is certainly a desire to return, but financial considerations are significant. The financial aspect is crucial. Being a restricted free agent, a qualified offer of $7.5 million is expected to be presented. This season has been a real roller coaster, full of highs and lows. There are hopes for a return, but in the end, it all boils down to financial issues. The financial situation is critical, as it involves a restricted free agent. The urgent question is whether this player will accept the offer. The likely answer seems to be no. What will his value be in the open market? Will the team be willing to match any proposals that come? Currently, the budget stands at $170, which would push the team above the first salary cap limit. Now, an interview was conducted. Opinions on this are welcome. The question was whether the season was successful. Comments are welcome in a continuous space for discussion about the team. There's an invitation to keep following the content, and all the other interviews are available in the comments below. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a stunning turn of events that has sent shockwaves throughout the NBA, Kevin Durant is reportedly making a sensational comeback to the Golden State Warriors. According to credible sources close to the negotiations, Durant is set to sign a massive 3-year contract, marking one of the most significant moves in recent basketball history. Durant's potential return to the Warriors rekindles memories of the dominant era that saw Golden State transform into an unstoppable force. Between 2016 and 2019, Durant's presence alongside Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green helped the Warriors secure 2 NBA championships and redefine team basketball with their lethal scoring and unselfish play. The news of Durant rejoining the squad has instantly ignited excitement among Warriors fans and NBA analysts alike. The reported 3-year deal is not only a testament to Durant's value as one of the league's premier talents, but also reflects the Warriors' commitment to rebuilding a championship contender in a fiercely competitive Western Conference. After a few challenging seasons marked by injuries and roster changes, Golden State appears poised to reassemble its core, aiming to recapture the glory that once made them a dynasty. Durant's decision to return could have major ripple effects across the NBA landscape. His ability to create scoring opportunities, combined with his defensive skills and veteran leadership, will undoubtedly boost the Warriors' chances of making a deep playoff run. Moreover, his reunion with former teammates could reignite the chemistry that made them nearly unbeatable during their peak years. Speculation about Durant's move has dominated sports headlines, with many debating how this will affect the balance of power in the league. Critics question whether Durant can regain his previous form and stay healthy, while supporters highlight his work ethic and determination to compete at the highest level. Regardless, the signing signals a new chapter for both Durant and the Warriors. The timing of this announcement comes as the NBA offseason heats up, with teams jockeying to assemble rosters capable of challenging for the title. Golden State's bold move underscores their ambition and willingness to invest in star talent, sending a clear message to rivals. The Warriors are back and ready to contend. As fans eagerly await the official confirmation and further details, one thing is certain. The return of Kevin Durant to the Warriors will be one of the most talked about stories in sports this year. It promises thrilling basketball action, renewed rivalries, and the potential for more historic moments on the hardwood. The NBA landscape is about to shift, and Durant's mega contract with Golden State is at the heart of this exciting transformation. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.